So today we are going to be looking at Assetto Corsa Evo. It has finally released. It is January 16th, and I may be releasing this video on the day depending on how late I stay up, but I'm super excited for this, partly because, well, it's a new racing sim. That's always fun, and the main part of it is that it has VR support from the very beginning, and I do like to use VR when I am racing. So, it's late. I'm in Doha right now. It's 11 o'clock at night. I don't have much time, so we're going to fire this thing up, go through the settings just to get everything set up, the wheel, the pedals, all that stuff, see how hard it is, see if there's any challenges. Then we're going to fire up VR and see how it looks. Now, this is a full release. It's an early access release, but it is a paid version. So that means it should be ironed out. It should be nice and smooth. But, of course, with all games, always, there's going to be problems. There's going to be hiccups. And I can see already that, I started it up just to make sure everything works. We've already got an update. So hopefully that's, fixed something. So let's get to it. I'm going to start the screen record, start all the cameras here, and just start from the beginning. All right, let's go through this update. 6.28 megabytes, so I don't think that's going to be that difficult. While that updates, oh, wow, okay, just kidding. It's 38.87 gigabytes now. Okay, so what I think happened is, I played it for, it says 108 minutes now. I was just testing everything out to make sure it worked. And it didn't seem like it was a full-on release. It seems like there was a lot of problems. So now we have an update. Obviously, I'm not going to keep you here until that finishes. I do have some pretty fast internet, so it is about a quarter of the way done already. And we'll meet back here once this finishes and launch it. Okay, we are screen recording. It is ready to go. Let's fire it up. We are going to start not in VR. It does have two options that come up. I was doing a lot of Dirt Rally 2 before this, and it's a familiar menu in Steam. When it comes up, it says play whatever game by itself or launch it in VR. Usually it says Steam VR and then has another option for like OpenXR. But this only has OpenXR mode, so right now we're just going in so we can make sure that we have everything set up as far as the wheel and all the different buttons and everything here. So let's fire it up and see what happens. Now, I did notice before when I started it up that it starts online and then disconnects and it goes to offline mode, and it's still doing that now. So there is no online during this early access, it looks like. Let's see if anything changed here. So we'll go to Drive, Special Events. There was nothing in here before. Looks like there is nothing in here now. Single player. Modes are the same, so we'll do practice. Alright, what I'll do first is go into settings, and we will look at the controls. Just to make it easy on you guys in case you have a hard time setting this up, let's go into presets, and then we will load in the keyboard default. What that's going to do is it's going to wipe everything out. So now I get to set it up as we go here, just like you would if you had a brand new. So up on top, you see that you have all of your different connected devices. Clearly I have way more than I should because it's currently connected with my sim rig here, and that's got all the flight control things and all that stuff connected. So let's go to the first thing, which is going to be the CSL pedals here. And we can go down, and each one is an axis, which is nice. Just click it and then move whatever it is. So throttle's done, brake is done, clutch is done. Handbrake is a separate handbrake, not part of the Fanatec system here. That's a Moza handbrake. Let's see, for the pedals, that is all that we need. One thing I noticed is that there are two Fanatec wheels showing up on here, and I don't know why that is. So steering shows up just fine. Throttle, brake, clutch, handbrake, don't worry about that. Steer left and right, that's done because it's an axis. We need paddle gear up, paddle gear down. And then because the Fanatec shifter over here is connected through the wheelbase. You do have to set it up through here. So shift gear 1. And this is a process because you have to go through all your gears. It's not too bad though. 6. Whoops. Gear 6. There it goes. Wait. 6. Come on. Oh, okay. You can't clear it. To clear it, you have to select it, go into Properties, and then Clear Binding. There we go. And then you can set it again. There we go. And then 7, all the way over. And we've got reverse. There we go. I'm not going to set any buttons up right now, but this is where you would set all that stuff up. You've got the tabs on the top here. UI, camera, dev, showroom, and modifiers. What is typical when you're setting these things up is that your throttle, brake, and clutch will all be reversed or inverted. So you can click on each one, throttle, go into properties, and then invert. Brakes, invert, clutch, invert. And I did notice that when I was driving, brakes were way saturated, so we're going to bring that down. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Let me know in the comments your expert opinions on what you should do for brake saturation, because what I notice is that when I hit the brakes, it's just 100% right away. So saturation, I guess. I lower it down and it feels better. Is that the correct way to do it? Not sure. I am not a professional driver. My sim experience, my racing sim experience is quite low. All right, make sure you hit apply. Handbrake. Need to go over to handbrake, click on handbrake, and then give it a go. I don't know if that one's inverted or not. I'm gonna take a chance and say it's good. We'll see. Then we can head back and let's take a look at the video graphics settings here. So right now, there's not much. You have your typical vertical sync, frame rate limits, and your resolution, all that good stuff. And then when you come over to graphics, that's where you got a whole bunch of fun stuff to play with. So let's take that and just go ultra. Upscaling, we do not want upscaling. No, get rid of it. And then we'll just leave everything else what it's set for ultra. All right, head back. Let's try to drive around without doing VR first and see how it is. Let's Suzuka, I guess. Let's do Suzuka. And the car doesn't really matter. Oh, okay. So they added some more cars since I first started it up. That's good. I mean, we have to go with a Camaro, right? Yeah, let's do that first, just to see how it is. All right, finally, yeah. Because when I first started it, there was only like 3 cars on there. There's supposed to be. I know there's supposed to be more. I saw them releasing all the different cars as we went along, getting closer to the release date. Let's just leave it all stock here and then give it a shot. I was expecting there to be the free roam available right away. Maybe that's going to come in an update in a little bit. Let's start with clear because we don't really care about the weather right now. But you can set the weather here. That's cool. I have all the assists off because I want to crash. I want to make a fool of myself and show how bad I am at driving. So we also have the manual set up, so I have to shift and everything and try to focus on talking to you as well. Let's see how that goes. All right. Ooh, okay. Nice. Alright, so handbrake. It's the handbrake. Let's go ahead and change that. You have quick access to the settings right here for the controls. That's always nice. And we should be able to go into handbrake. Again, click on it. What's crazy is the first time I went in here to set up the controls, I actually accidentally hit the mouse when I was in the the setup for the handbrake. So it recognized the mouse one click as the handbrake setting, and it literally broke everything. I had to like click a million times to try to get the keyboard presets to load so it would revert back to default. It was a real pain. So just be careful when you're doing that. What was I doing here now? Ah, that's right. Invert. Okay. I should have just done it the last time, but whatever. Let's head back here. Resume. Okay. And we should be able to go now. Yes, there we go. Oh, already got a penalty for speeding. Oh, that feels awesome. Yes. Oops. Okay. So as we head around, jeez. Oh. Okay. I have been flying. I've been flying a lot lately, and I've been doing a whole bunch of different reviews on like Next Level Racing cockpits and some folding cockpits and things like that. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to just sit here and drive, and I am not good right now. Oh, this car is terrible. Like for cornering, I was driving around a little Alfa Romeo, I think, and it was great. It was handling corners perfect. It just feels like a boat. All right. Oh my goodness, too fast. What am I doing? All right. Let's focus on the looks here. Let's look around. So we're at 4K right now. And this is ultra settings. Like if you look up at the audience, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're all there. The detail's pretty good. The grass is looking a little sparse, a little absent. Trees are kind of, eh. They have a wacky, what are those things called? Wacky inflatable arm guy up in the corner there. That's always cool to see. Okay, I think I'm just realizing that I don't know how to drive. And this is on the expert setting, so gotta cut me a little slack. There are no assists, and it shows. At least I know how to drive a manual vehicle, so good for me. Oh my goodness. Okay, what I'm realizing is that I'm just going too fast, and that's embarrassing. Okay. What I really want to know is that all the controls are working, and it looks like they are. This handbrake. Handbrake is not working. Interesting. Let's stop here and then see what happened. Settings, control. All right, over to handbrake. Try that again. Oops. Clear binding. Confirm. Handbrake. There it is. And then, okay, apply. Properties. Invert. Go back and try this again. Don't really need the handbrake, but just want to make sure everything works. There it goes. Okay. Now I have it. Oh, yikes. Okay, so what we're going to do now that all the controls and everything are working, got our first impressions here. It looks fine. It looks great. The details in the car are pretty awesome. Realistic looking. I don't know what the frame rates are. I need to start up the MSI Afterburner. That way we can see through Turner. Actually, let me do that right now. All right. So what are we looking at here when we're driving around? About 90 FPS. Oops. What just happened there? Something just fell out of my clutch, my Fanatec clutch. I have upgraded those. Upgraded those pedals, and something just went. Ching. Okay, what I'm really curious about is the VR performance. So what I'll do now is throw on the headset. I did have a little bit of difficulty when I was doing some testing, just getting it to work. So I'm hoping all that is ironed out now, and what we can do is throw it on with no issues. Let's hope that that's what happens, because I don't think it's going to. Let's actually hope for that, because I don't expect it to work first try, or second, or third. But I might be surprised, and I hope I am. So let's give it a shot. All right, so my VR setup today is going to be the Pimax Crystal Light. Now this is one of the highest resolution headsets that you can get for the money. It's actually a pretty decent price for what you get. Now there may be a lot of quality issues out there that people are complaining about, but I've had a pretty good experience with it and the Crystal that I had before. So hopefully it's working for you. We're going to test it with Asseto Corsa Evo and see how it performs. We'll take a look at the frame rates. We'll take a look at just in general how it looks, and then hopefully I can get some, I'll put my phone in there and see if we can get some through the lens shots just so you can see how it looks. So let's see how it fires up. Now I'm going to head in to see what we get in here. Oh, that is really hurting my eyes. Yikes. Can we hit continue on there? And it's frozen. Well, I don't know what's happening. We're at 5 FPS according to RivaTuner. It's basically running at 5 frames a second, like it says. So everything just kind of hangs up and then moves around. So that's a fail on starting that. I'm just gonna restart everything, and then I'll see you guys hopefully when VR is working and I can actually get it to record. I figured it out. I think I know what was going on. What SteamVR was doing was it was bumping up the resolution when it was on auto to 150%, which means that it was trying to run this headset at like 5,000 by 6,000 something, and that's just, it can't handle it. It was dropping the frame rates down so much that it was just stuttering, like 1 frame at a time. So what I did was I brought that down to about 80%, which is still 3,800 by 4,000 something. And now everything has gone back to stable. Right now it's at like 25 frames per second in the menu, which is kind of odd. And the GPU it's at like 100% right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to throw this on, go and just start driving around just to see what it looks like. We're not going to change any settings yet. Just going to give a basic feel of how this racing sim is going to be. Let's get it fired up and see how it is. So right off the bat, with the menus here, there is an issue where it's like pixelated, like a dark. I don't think that's going to come through. It does. You can see the difference in the color there, where it's all pixelated. That is very distracting, and I'm not sure what it is. Let's just forget about that. I don't like how close the menu is. The menu is like right in your face. That'd be great if you could grab it and push it back. But I'm not seeing an option. You can move around, which is pretty cool. You can move around your car. And there's some neat features in here that you can do, like your scene options. You can change the weather, so if it's like overcast or clear. And you can do a bunch of stuff with the car as well. And you can change your location, so where you're at, to show the car off, whatever car you choose. It feels like I'm angled. Weird. Okay, there we go. I guess that's better. Anyway, let's go ahead and go for a drive. So single player, again, menu right in your face. Let's pick not the Camaro, something that I can actually attempt to drive. That menu is not responding to the scroll wheel. Let's try an Audi here. Oh, it is just, it's locking up. That's so crazy. Like, it just, there it goes. Steam VR fail. Alright, restarting Steam VR. So, I will try to get onto a track in a car in VR, and then I might be able to describe what I'm seeing. But for right now, it's a lot of problems. I don't know if it's just my system or if this is going to be common for everyone, but not great. We got it. Finally. It's not ideal. I can't reset the position of the view there for some reason. I'm sure there's a button set in there so you can reset it, but for right now, if I do it with the controller, it sends me below the car, and then I have to reset the room for Pimax, and everything just breaks. So I'm going to keep it as is, and I am inside of this guy. Alright. So let's test it out. Let's drive around here and look around. This is Assetto. This is Asseto Corsa in VR. Now, let me look at the frame rates. I don't see a way to change the VR settings independently of the settings. It's just like a global setting for the game, or it's like a preset that they use for VR instead. So I don't know how that impacts when you change the settings for the graphics quality. How is it changing the VR? Right now I see quite a bit of shimmering. It looks like everything off in the distance is rendering pretty quick. You don't see it, like the trees popping up and all the people in the stands just popping up as you go. There is quite a bit of detail off in the distance, like around the track here. I do like that the stands are full of people and flags waving around. Looks pretty nice. You know, if you're moving fast enough, the grass looks pretty good. But there is a significant amount of shimmering that is pretty distracting. If you've ever used like upscaling in VR before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about with the shimmering, because that happens all the time. It's like artifacting on edges. You know, I'm not going for any records here on speed because I want to see how it looks. A little bit slower than usual. I got some birds flying around there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the detail is fantastic, but that shimmering is a little distracting. So I wonder if there's a way to get rid of that in the settings. I really like driving this car. The way the cars handle, I think it's great. I'm not an expert. I don't know really what to look for as far as how the cars should behave in the sim. I can say it's really fun. And it's visually pleasing. You know, we don't have a lot to offer here as far as selection goes on where you can drive. It's kind of this one. There was Imola, I think. I think right at this moment we only have about 3 tracks, and you can do those in various directions and however it's set up. The sky looks pretty good, but when things are off in a distance, they kind of blend together. Wish there was a way to fine-tune the specific VR settings. And maybe that's going to come in an update, or maybe it's just something that I'm missing right now. and haven't taken a look at. All right, so I'm going to mess around with the settings a little bit and just see if we can tweak things, and how different settings changes your frame rates. I didn't look at the frame rate, so let me bring that up now. Okay, so as you can see, we are still at 35 frames per second, and look at that VRAM. Now, I'm pretty sure if the screen recording is doing what it's supposed to do, you will be able to see that hardware info actually shows the similar VRAM usage for the GPU, sitting at 95% and all the memory. And we are at high settings right now instead of ultra, so I did turn it down. So I don't know if the settings changing are impacting the VR or not. It doesn't look any different though. When you change it, it looks identical. So maybe I'll put a side by side if I change it, or change it down to low, and we'll see if it actually does go down in the settings, if it's visible. But right now, that is just way too much for the GPU. If you have anything less than a 4090, like you're maxing out your memory instantly. And same with the regular memory. That's 20 gigabytes of memory right now, which, you know, if you have 16, you're toast. You have to have, you know, 32 or more, and if that 32, you're really pushing it. You can definitely see some blur going on here. It's not too bad when you're looking straight ahead, but if you look to the side, things get a little spicy on the peripherals there. It does look great. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying racing. It looks great. Like, I don't know if we can get another sim. Like, if you do the other Assetto Corsa with all the the mods, everything that you put, the custom shaders, all that stuff, how does it compare? I haven't done that as a good comparison. So you guys are going to have to let me know if this is worse or better than before. But for somebody that is just getting started using this sim, it looks great. Like, if I stepped into this initially, and I've never raced in VR before, I would go, this is amazing. It looks great. The clarity is pretty good with the Crystal Light. He doesn't reach down and grab the handbrake. That's a bummer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all the different settings, and then we're going to see if we can get an FPS boost by going down to like low settings with a 4090 and see if it makes a difference. Alright, so there definitely was a difference between the two settings, low settings and high. You had about 30-something-ish frames on ultra settings, and then all the way down to low, it went up to 40, 40s, mid-40s. Another option that you can do is you can set up the Pimax Crystal Light here, if this is what you're using, to use the 90 hertz upscaled mode. And what that's going to do is it's a form of upscaling, which is going to lower the render resolution, and then Pimax is actually going to upscale it to a higher headset resolution using their upscaling algorithms. And what it does is it provides you, as you can see here, we're running at ultra settings at 45, and the render resolution is down to 20. Let's see it come up here again. Come on. 2892 by 3424. So a lower resolution. And you can tell that the VRAM usage is a lot lower. We're at 84% utilization for the GPU. Everything seems to be running just a little bit smoother. That's cool because higher frame rates means smoother looking gameplay. And what you notice visually is not much. There is, like when you use FSR or DLSS, there's shimmering, there's artifacting that you see. All of that is present, but it was before when we were using no upscaling at all. I think that's actually pretty good. And it's definitely going to be necessary if you want to use anywhere close to the higher settings and you don't have a 4090. And that's the real concern here, is that I'm using, as of right now, the top of the line GPU, and it is maxed out. One thing I really like about this is that you don't always have to be in VR. You can take your headset off, and the menu is here on the TV in a very low resolution. But it makes it a lot easier to be able to navigate, especially when you're changing settings or you want to really fine-tune something. Doing it through the headset can always be a pain, so it's nice to have that option. What I want to do now is just try some different weather, like a drizzle. That'd be nice. And then we'll go back in here and try a different track as well. Let's do Brands Hatch. I got rid of the wheel somehow. There we go. I mean, the seating position looks pretty good, actually. But the wheel is gone. Whatever, that's fine. Now wiper should be this one. There we go. Look at that. All right, what are we looking at for frame rates? 45 with upscaling. That looks pretty cool in the rain. Oh, hold on. Let me get the view for you guys. I completely forgot. Over here, VR view. And I closed out. I keep closing it out. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Okay, that'll work. All right. Are we recording? We're recording. Good. Okay, so in the rain, I would say, yeah, drive in the rain. Every time. It looks great. Ooh. This car's a little spicy. A little more power. I am unfamiliar with this track, so I am not going to be going too fast. That looks pretty good. Really good, honestly. Except for the mouse being, like, right in the way. There we go. Just look around. Alright, now I'm impressed. I like it a lot. Like the haze and everything from the rain. The rain itself is... It's okay. I like the splashing movement that's showing up here. I would like to see it streaking as you're driving faster. It looks like it's kind of doing that on the windows. The road looks great when it's wet. This car sounds great. I wish my car sounded like this, but it doesn't. This is really a pleasure to drive right now. Everything looks wonderful. Because it has that haze, it has more of a natural, realistic look to it. When you get it really sunny, that's when things start to shimmer and look It takes away from the immersion. It looks not real at all. Is this the pit? Oh, cool. Let's go in here. What I like is that you can go into any one of these and they're all just waiting for you here. I'm like, yeah, my car belongs here. That's right. What's going on? Yeah. All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Whoop. Well, easy. Sorry. Oh, I've got a penalty. What do the penalties actually do? Because I wonder if I try to go get my license now, if they go, oh, no, we got too many penalties. Because I have quite a few of them already. Let's check this out. That looks pretty cool. So all the people that are on Instagram and TikTok drive like this. And you know what I say to that? In VR, it is not ideal. Kind of makes me sick, actually. Okay, so final thoughts on this new release. So there's a lot of bugs. It definitely crashed quite a bit. Part of that is Steam VR's fault and how it defaulted to 150% for the render. Once that was taken care of, you know, things are starting to get a little bit smoother. And I think the more that they update things as they go along up till that to that release date when they're actually doing the full release and not the early access, I think they're going to work out some of the bugs here. The VR, it's okay. In the rain, it looked great. That was very entertaining. And overcast as well looks good. It's when you get that bright sunlight, everything starts to shimmer and you lose that immersion. It still looks pretty great though. And I think once you start expanding into the open world where you can drive around, it's going to be pretty fun. So I do like the game. I want to know how you guys liked it. If you tried it out on early access, let me know in the comments. Was it a progression of Assetto Corsa, or are they going backwards? Because I'm not a professional. Like, I don't know how to drive, so I don't know the mechanics of the actual driving. Is it good? Is it bad? No idea. Visually, it's pleasing. That's going to do it for this video. I hope it was at least somewhat informative. At least you got to see some gameplay, and you know that the VR works now. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.